Is China's hidden economy about to make, or break, your wealth? What if I told you that the single biggest financial transition of our decade isn't happening on Wall Street, isn't being talked about on CNBC, and is intentionally being kept out of mainstream Western headlines? Right now, while millions of everyday investors are staring at inflation numbers, watching traditional stocks stagnate, and wondering why their hard-earned savings buy less every single month, a massive, hidden layer of global wealth is shifting underneath our feet. Click on the descriptions or first comments official for Forbidden China Wealth link. Let me ask you a question: have you felt that strange, lingering anxiety lately? That feeling where you work harder, save more, maybe even try your hand at side hustles or standard index funds, yet somehow, you feel like you're standing on a financial treadmill? You're not crazy. The game hasn't just gotten harder, it changed entirely without sending out an update. Most people believe that building real wealth comes down to working 60 hours a week or picking the next trendy stock. But behind closed doors, global macro analysts and institutional players know the truth: massive wealth is created during geopolitical shifts. Specifically, within the overlooked, heavily misunderstood, and tightly guarded economic moves happening inside China's private markets and digital financial infrastructure. For years, Western markets were given a carefully curated narrative. But behind the media wall lies a parallel economy. A system where specific capital corridors are generating staggering returns for those who know how to navigate them, while leaving traditional investors completely out in the cold. If you felt stuck, if you're worried about inflation wiping out your purchasing power, or if you're simply exhausted by financial advice that felt outdated 5 years ago, stay right here. Because today, we are pulling back the curtain on a system that might just be the missing piece to your financial puzzle. Let me step back for a second and be completely honest with you. A couple of years ago, a good friend of mine, let's call him David, was in a position a lot of you might relate to. David is a smart guy. He worked a solid corporate job, saved about 20% of his income, and did everything that gurus told him to do. He bought the diversified ETFs. He held cash reserves. He put money into real estate funds. And yet, around late 2023, David sat down with me at a coffee shop, looked at his net worth statement, and sighed. He told me, "I'm doing everything right on paper, but I'm losing ground. Inflation is eating 7% of my purchasing power, taxes take another cut, and my portfolio is barely breaking even. I feel like I'm playing a fixed game where the rules are written in a language I don't speak." I saw the sheer exhaustion in his eyes. He wasn't lazy. He wasn't reckless. He was just playing by an outdated rulebook. David spent months pulling late nights, trying everything. He looked into crypto, too volatile and filled with noise. He looked into local real estate, interest rates were too high. He tried day trading, and lost $3,000 in a single week trying to catch pump and dump signals. He was ready to throw in the towel and accept that financial freedom was just a marketing myth designed to sell self-help books. Until one night, he stumbled down an obscure rabbit hole regarding international capital movements. He realized that while everyone in the West was fighting over the same 10 overhyped tech stocks, a quiet group of macro investors were tapping into high-efficiency capital strategies tied to Asian market inefficiencies. That was the turning point for David. And frankly, once he showed me the research, it became the turning point for me, too. That rabbit hole eventually led us to a system and strategic research blueprint called Forbidden China Wealth. Now, I know what you're thinking when you hear a name like that. It sounds like a movie title or some underground secret society, right? Let's strip away the dramatic name for a second and look at what it actually is. At its core, Forbidden China Wealth is an all-in-one strategic blueprint and intelligence portal designed to help everyday, individual investors decode, access, and profit from the hidden economic mechanics of the Chinese market ecosystem, without needing a hedge fund budget or a degree in international economics. Think of it this way. Imagine you're trying to buy high-end goods. Most people go to a local retail store and pay a 500% markup because of middleman fees, taxes, and local supply chains. Now imagine having a direct, backdoor key to the factory floor where those goods are manufactured. You bypass the markups, you see the true cost, and you get access to products before they ever hit the display windows in your local mall. That's what Forbidden China Wealth does for capital strategies. It cuts through the media noise, translates complex regulatory shifts into plain language, and gives you actionable, step-by-step frameworks to position your money ahead of massive international capital flows. The number one biggest benefit it brings to your daily life: asymmetric leverage. Instead of praying for a 5% or 6% annual return on traditional assets while inflation sits at 6%, this program teaches you how to identify low-risk, high-upside opportunities generated by global economic realignments. It's designed to help you build a resilient, inflation-proof portfolio that thrives regardless of what the U.S. Federal Reserve or local central banks decide to do tomorrow. Let's pop open the hood and see what you actually get inside the Forbidden China Wealth ecosystem. When you get access, you aren't just dumped into a giant, confusing folder of PDFs. It's structured into a clean, execution-focused curriculum split into key operational pillars. Pillar 1, the macro decoding system. First, it breaks down the exact mechanics of how capital moves between Eastern and Western markets. It explains the why behind government policy shifts, digital yuan rollouts, and trade rerouting. Instead of guessing based on panic-inducing news headlines, you get a clear radar map showing where institutional money is flowing 3 to 6 months before it shows up in mainstream media. Here's where most people get stuck: how do I actually invest in these markets safely? The system gives you the exact blueprint for legal, compliant, and direct asset positioning. It shows you how to bypass traditional Western index funds, which often carry heavy management fees and poor asset exposure, and access direct instruments, specialized ETFs, and emerging trade channels safely from your home computer. This is the core engine. It outlines specific risk management rules so you never overexpose your capital. It operates on a 80-20 rule: 80% of your wealth remains protected in secure foundation assets, while 20% is strategically deployed into high-upside asymmetric opportunities. If an opportunity misses, your portfolio barely notices. If it hits, it moves the needle for your entire financial future. Presenter, and the best part: it's written in plain English. You don't need to know complex financial jargon or read 500-page regulatory files. Everything is distilled into quick digest video modules, printable cheat sheets, and monthly intelligence updates that take less than 20 minutes a week to review. Now, let's talk about proof. Does this actually work for real people, or is it just great theory? Let's look at a verified case study from the Forbidden China Wealth community. Marcus T., an IT consultant from Texas, had been sitting on a moderate portfolio that had gained less than 3% over an 18-month period after accounting for fees and inflation. After implementing the capital positioning strategy from Pillar 2 and 3 of this program, Marcus reallocated just 15% of his stagnant capital into specific target sectors identified in the monthly intelligence briefs. Within 7 months, that 15% allocation outperformed his entire traditional stock portfolio's earnings over the previous 3 years combined, while actually reducing his overall market risk exposure. But here's the real secret, the piece that the creators of Forbidden China Wealth almost decided to leave out because it was considered too controversial. Inside the portal, there is a hidden vault called the Arbitrage Corridor Briefings. This isn't even featured on their main sales page. It details a specific financial framework involving cross-border currency hedging and supply chain liquidity pools. It reveals how major institutional traders exploit tiny price discrepancies in commodities and tech supply chains between the Shanghai and London exchanges. Understanding just this one concept gives you a psychological and strategic advantage that 99% of retail traders will never have. It completely changes how you look at global market movements. Alright, let's stop the hype right here. Let's be brutally honest. I don't care what product is being sold, nothing is perfect, and Forbidden China Wealth is definitely not for everyone. So let's break down the real pros and cons so you can make an educated decision. The pros. Unrivaled market intelligence. You are getting insights that simply aren't broadcast on mainstream financial news networks. Simple, actionable framework, no confusing jargon. It takes complex geopolitical macroeconomics and turns them into step-by-step action plans. risk-first approach, it doesn't tell you to gamble your life savings. It focuses heavily on capital preservation and asymmetric leverage. The cons. Active reading required. This is not a push-button magic money machine. You actually have to spend time watching the modules and reading the briefings. Unconventional concepts. If you are someone who believes you should only ever buy local index funds and hold them for 40 years, this will make you uncomfortable. It requires an open mind. Digital format only. There are no physical books shipped to your door. Everything is hosted in a secure digital member portal. Now, let's address the 3 biggest objections you probably have right now. Objection number 1, is this whole thing a scam? Look, the internet is full of fake gurus promising overnight riches. Forbidden China wealth is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is a research, intelligence, and educational framework built on real macroeconomic data. If you're looking for a lottery ticket, do not buy this. Objection number 2, is investing in Asian or foreign markets too risky right now? Here's the reality, all investing carries risk. But the highest risk comes from having 100% of your money tied to a single economy or currency that is currently being eroded by inflation. Diversifying globally with proper risk controls actually lowers your total portfolio risk. Objection number 3, do I need tens of thousands of dollars to start? Absolutely not. The strategies outlined inside can be executed with as little as a few $100s. The principles of capital allocation apply whether you're managing $500 or $500,000. So, what is the final verdict? If you are content watching your savings sit in a standard bank account earning 0.5% interest while cost of living skyrockets, then this isn't for you. Close this video and keep doing what you've always done. But if you are ready to stop playing defense with your money, if you want to understand where global wealth is actually moving before the rest of the world catches on, then Forbidden China Wealth is one of the most eye-opening investment resources available today. Here's the deal, the creators of Forbidden China Wealth frequently cap enrollment to keep their intelligence updates exclusive and prevent market saturation of their specific arbitrage setups. Furthermore, if you access the program today through the official link in the description below, you will lock in the discounted founder rate along with the special Arbitrage Corridor Briefings bonus vault for free before it gets removed. Scroll down to the video description or check the top pinned comment right below this video. Click on the descriptions or first comments official for Forbidden China Wealth link, watch their short presentation, review the module breakdown, and secure your access before the current portal opening closes or the price increases. Don't let another year go by watching global economic shifts happen to you. Take control, get ahead of the curve, and start building true financial security today. Click the link descriptions below right now, and I'll see you on the inside. Before you go, drop a comment down below and let me know, what is your biggest concern with the global economy in 2026? I read and reply to as many comments as I can. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more real financial intelligence. Until next time, stay sharp, stay informed, and keep building. See ya.